Next, we're going to go ahead and cover the display. So this is our display here. We see AC present, system ready, battery charging, LEDs are lit right now. Those LEDs are pretty much always lit when it's in standby mode. We also have battery power, which will indicate that we're running an inverter or battery mode, and system fault, which means just that, we have an alarm condition. Because the charger light is lit does not mean there is current flowing to the batteries, it just means the charger is active. So that's all that means. So when we look at this keypad, we have the date, the time, Myers CPI, which is the manufacturer, and the UL listing 924, which meets code for life safety. And then we see our keypad here. We have a numerical keypad, and then we have a blue, a red, and a black button, and then an enter key. When we look at the blue button, if we press it, we see meter function menu. Now we're looking at everything that is in blue writing. Okay, so now if I hit key 1, it says VN, I'm looking at voltage in. Key 2 is voltage out. Key 3 is current out, etc. We'll cover them all real quick. But battery voltage is 4. Total charge current or discharge current for batteries is 5. Total VA out is 6. 7 is inverter watts. 8 is inverter minutes, that's total minutes it's run on battery over the life of the system. Temperature in Celsius, and days the system has been online. So that's everything with the blue key, pretty basic. And to escape and get back to the functioning menu or the scrolling menu, we just hit the blue key again. Now we'll look at the red control key. We see test log, event log, and alarm log. Those are the 3 logs for the system. The test log, the system does a self-test once a month that's 5 minutes and an annual test that's 90 minutes. So we have 13 total self-tests a year. Everything is automatic, it's pre-scheduled for a given date and time, and then the duration is preset as well, 5 or 90 minutes. So all we have to do is come to our log and check and see did we pass our most recent self-test. When we look at it, this is the event log, but we'll see the same information basically. We'll see, it'll say test log and one of however many tests there are. We scroll through and we select any one. We'll get the date, the time, and the duration, which again are all predetermined. And then we'll see that we had good output voltage, we carried our load, temperature was acceptable, and we had no alarms. The key when checking our test log is that we ran the full duration, 5 or 90 minutes, and there are no alarms. That's really what we want to see there. When we look at the event log is any time the system transfers and runs on battery. And again, we talked about this being line interactive. It can transfer for more than just an actual utility loss. It can just be that it doesn't like the incoming power. So what we need to pay attention to in the event log is frequency and duration. How long is it running on battery when it does, and how often is it running on battery? We don't want this guy transferring 20, 30 times a day, you know. 1 or 2 times a day, that's acceptable. Once or twice every other day, even better. Once or twice a month, better yet. Right. If it's once or twice a month or every other day, but it's for 45 minutes, that's a problem. You know, we don't want to over-exercise the batteries for no reason. So that's what we're looking for when we look in this log. And if we select one of these guys, you know, this is 2 of 4. Again, we get the date, the time, the duration. We see 1 minute, which typically tells me it just didn't like something on the incoming power, so it transferred real fast. There was no actual power loss. And then the output voltage, the current, temperature, and any alarms, yes or no. Now when we have a true power outage, you are going to see yes for alarms because it considers utility failure and alarm condition. So if the power goes out, it will record an alarm. So that's acceptable. So the difference when we're looking at test and event log, test log, always no alarms because there's never a power failure. Event log, an alarm condition is okay because that's typical with a utility failure. We just need to pay attention to how often it's transferring and for how long. And then our last log, the 0 key, is the alarm log. And we see 1 of 5. What I would do is just scroll through. We get a date, a time, and the alarm condition. And then we can look at all of them. Again, date, time, alarm condition. So what I'd be looking for there is what are my alarms. If all I see is utility failures, and again, they're not too frequent or for too long, no big deal, everything looks good. If I see alarms, you know, we have to take them as they come. There's a lot to go over in that area as far as what alarms you can have. So if you have an alarm condition, especially while it's under warranty, I just recommend you call your local service center or the manufacturer. Pose the question to them and then go from there. Again, the user's guide has a small troubleshooting chart in the rear. So if you're having an issue, you can reference that chart and see if it helps you. But they're pretty common sense, you know. Charger failure, inverter fault, output fault, overload, low VAC. So a lot of them are self-explanatory, but you know, take them as they come, because we could do an hour just on that. So that's everything for logs. The last two keys we have in red is buzzer and test. If I hit test, the system's going to perform a self-test. Okay. While it's doing that, I can go to voltage out. I can see I still have good V8 out, or voltage out rather, and I'm carrying my load if I have any at the time. I don't have any right now. You know, and then again, the other key being buzzer. I can turn the buzzer off if the system's in alarm. So that's everything in the program, or the control key rather. The last key we're going to go over is program, and this is where a password is required. Up to this point, we can't mess anything up using the keypad. Once we enter a password, that's when we can change things and we can create problems for ourselves. Otherwise, feel free to use the keypad, the blue and the red key, and all numerical keys. You're not going to create any issues. However, program, your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. Again, that password's in your user's manual. All we're going to worry about as an end user is date and time. If the current date and the current time is correct, which will change right now, 13/21, and our monthly test is scheduled for a date and time that we're happy with, as well as our annual, which will be the 15th of every month at 5 a.m. and that's our 5-minute. Our 90-minute will be January 1st at 8 a.m. So if we're happy with those dates and times, we got nothing else to do here. Everything else we see are just alarm set points. They're preset from the manufacturer, and we have no reason to change them unless the manufacturer instructs us to do so. Again, hit the program key to escape and we're back to the beginning. So that's the whole keypad. Seem good on that?